Well, first time for everything, I guess. Welcome to the Tailgate Talk. My name's Aaron. Riley is next to me. Um,
Hello.
we would be doing this in the same room if we didn't, live 4 hours from each other. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna be diving into a little bit of what's going on the sports world every week. Um, Sounds like every Wednesday. That could change. Might be some Tuesdays, some Wednesdays. We don't know yet. But yeah, we'll you want to introduce yourself formally a little bit?
Sure. So my name's Riley. I'm a senior. I have two TikTok accounts, one by the name of Riley Loves Boston and the other of by Boston State Champions, if you guys follow them. And I'm a
Description.
big Boston sports fan. Yes, I will link those in the description below, so please follow them. So yeah.
All right. And like I said, I'm Aaron. I'm in New Jersey. I'm a junior in high school. And yeah, I play golf for the school and I ski in the winter. So yeah, I don't, I've been around the basketball world, the hockey world and the baseball world enough, and definitely know enough about football. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in here. We're gonna start with Thursday night football. Uh, Kind of disappointing. Or sorry, Monday night football. My apologies.
Disappointing. Were you
Monday night
cheering for the
football.
Chiefs?
I
Were you
was rooting
cheering
for
for
the
the
Chiefs. They should not have lost that game.
Um,
They handed Philadelphia that game on a platter.
I was really cheering for the Eagles because after that Super Bowl loss, that had me down in the dumps. Honestly, Jalen Hurts, like even though he didn't have any passing touchdowns and had an interception, he still played pretty good. Still got the Eagles the win, but
Pretty
I would
good.
say
He
the
threw for
Chiefs.
150 yards. Not that Mahomes threw for much more than that on, almost, you know, barely 50% completion. But yeah, Jalen Hurts 14 for 22, 150 yards. Did throw an interception, no passing touchdowns. Mahomes wasn't much better. He threw 24 for 43, just more pass attempts, 177 yards, two passing touchdowns, and still an interception. And there was a crucial ball the last, towards the end of the game that receiver definitely should have caught. So
Really sealed the win.
yeah,
But
that would have done it to the Eagles, but we
when you
gotta
look at the Eagles, their main running back and wide receiver produced way better than the Chiefs did because DeAndre Swift, 107 yards, one touchdown. Devonta Smith, 99 yards. He didn't get a touchdown, but he still helped them win that game. When you look at the Chiefs, their main go-to person was Watson, and he only had 53 yards and one touchdown. And the next best player was Travis Kelsey with 44 yards and one touchdown.
yeah, I think it was an
So I feel,
off week
yeah.
for both teams, kind of a down week. But yeah, I mean, solid game to watch, fun game, 4 point game was close. Mahomes touchdown to Kelsey was absolutely incredible. The way he threw that ball, I don't know if I've ever seen that in a football game. Um, but yeah, so what do we got? I mean, what do we got? Chiefs coming up. I think we've got what? Who are they playing next? I don't think they're playing.
The Chiefs are
They play
playing
Las Vegas, so
the
that's
Raiders,
yeah,
yes.
that's going to be a blowout if you ask me. The Raiders are in shambles. They have been all year. Firing their coach did not help them. The rookie quarterback is not having a good year this year. Um, and yeah, so I would not have high expectations for the Raiders, and I think that Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes are going to walk all over them on
And
Sunday.
maybe we will see Taylor Swift make an appearance at that game. You never know. She wasn't at the Chiefs Eagles game, but
Which is the
maybe
one you
she'll
would
show
think
up.
she would go to.
Hey, I
But
mean, she was in
isn't she
like Brazil
touring?
or something.
I was gonna say she's
Yeah,
touring, right? Yeah,
she's touring, but
that wouldn't make any sense if she were to show up there in the middle of her tour. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of her. And that's another thing on the agenda too, is they are covering her way too much at these games.
see,
It's getting ridiculous. And I don't know if
see,
you're
as a Taylor Swift fan, I recently went to the movies. I watched her movie. It was amazing. I love Taylor Swift. And yes, the coverage of her is a bit excessive, but do you know how much money this is bringing in to the NFL? How many fans it's bringing into the NFL? This is so good for the NFL, like money-wise and fan-wise.
it's
Maybe
not
like
helping them fan wise. It's hurting them because it's bringing people who know nothing about football, who don't care about football, just to watch these games because they want to see Taylor Swift, which is ultimately just ridiculous.
Okay, but that's also bringing in views. It's bringing in money. It's bringing in publicity.
Okay,
It's
all
bringing
right.
in so many
We
other
could
things.
argue about that all freaking day. But I think we've got let's shift gears because that will be an all day argument between the two of us, especially Celtics Bucks coming up. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
tonight?
That is tonight. It is at 7:30 on ESPN.
Oh, it's an ESPN game. Okay, so
Yes.
you're a big Boston fan. Boston's
Oh
favored
yeah.
by 4.5.
Yep.
What's does Giannis and Dame playing tonight? I believe they're both healthy.
I believe both of them will be playing tonight, and I'm pretty positive all the Celtics starters will be playing tonight, and we will not be sitting anybody for any injuries. So that's pretty good because we've had a lot of injuries lately. Like Derek White was out for a little bit. I know Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Brown, they sat for a game or two. So it's really good if we would have our full lineup here ready to face the Bucks, as we're 11-3 and the Bucks are 10-4. So this is a very equal matchup, but hoping to see Drew Holiday go off against his former team. That would be great.
Drew Holiday is one of the most outstanding defenders I've ever seen just by watching him play against the Knicks a few times. But like you said, the Celtics are 11-3 and they're 7-3 in their last 10, 5-0 at home, and they are the Bucks are 8-2 in their last 10, 4-3 on the road. So I assume that game's happening in Boston tonight.
Yeah.
So I would I agree with that line of Boston being favored by 4.5. I don't think that, as much as I hate to say it, the Bucks defense has been awful this year with the loss of Drew Holiday and with the addition of Damian Lillard, who I wouldn't say is known for his defense, more for his, ridiculous ability to shoot the basketball. So yeah, Boston by 4.5. I think that could even be bigger. I could even put it up at, Boston by 6 or 7, as much as I hate to do it.
Hmm. I would also say, looking at who the Bucks have played this season, their only real matchup has really been against the 76ers, where they won 118 to 117. Everyone else they have played have been lower level teams in the NBA. So I really think that even though the Bucks are 8-2 in their last 10 games and they're coming in fire and hot, ready to shoot, ready to win, that the Celtics are going to be a real big test for them.
But
So they need to either prove themselves or not.
here's something I want to, throw in there because I don't know if you look at, Milwaukee's schedule and who they've played. I just want to point this out. Starting the first game of the season, November 20th, from there until now, there's one game, Wednesday, November 1st, where they lost to the who they lose to? They lost to
Toronto Raptors, the
Yep.
Toronto Raptors.
They lost to
Yep.
Toronto, where Malik Beasley had the high in points. For the rest of the games, it is Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard having, I believe, the no lower than 25 points, which is absolutely unreal. That that's crazy that the points leaders on this team are not dropping lower than 25 points. Giannis had a 54-point game, 42-point game. Lillard's up there with 37. So, and 39 actually, the first game of the year against Philadelphia. So their three losses have come to bad teams actually. They've come to Atlanta, they've come to Toronto, who I wouldn't necessarily call a great team, and Indiana and Orlando back to back, and they lost to Orlando pretty good, 112 to 97. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a physical matchup. The refs hopefully let them play because I think you're going to see a lot of points scored from behind the 3-point line. You're going to see a lot of screens being set on Drew Holiday in particular to free, offensive players up because he is that much of a threat on the defensive side of the ball. But coming up, they have Boston tonight, and then they're back to having, two not great teams in Washington and Portland, a decent team in Miami, and then they're back to Chicago, Atlanta, Chicago, Indiana, and Detroit through the 16th of December. So by no means do they have a hard schedule at all. The second half of the year, it does get a little tougher. You see a little bit more on the West Coast with the LA teams and the Warriors. But nothing about their schedule screams it's impossible. So, and we've seen it before. They've finished with the best record in the league and gotten bounced in the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see. I think Boston has a great shot tonight.
Yeah, looking at the chemistry between Dame and Giannis, it's definitely looked good so far, but I really want to see them up against a big test and like if they're down, see if they can come back from that. And also looking at the roster for tonight, Jay Crowder is out, so that could make a difference. He is a good player on their team. And I also want to see how they respond to playing against their old teammate Drew Holiday because watching games when you're playing against old players, I've always noticed that sometimes the team struggles with that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a trend, and I think I think this the Bucks can't go into it thinking they have an easy win. Neither team can. I think they're both going to come out firing, and I think you're going to see the ball in Damian Lillard's hands a lot behind the 3-point line. I bet you Drew Holiday guards him, and I bet you you have Giannis down low. And who's the starting center
For the
for the
Bucks?
Celtics? No, the
Oh, for the
Celtics.
Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis is our starting center. But before we keep going, Jason Tatum is listed as questionable with an illness. I
Oh,
just
when did
read.
that get
So
updated?
I do not know, but that is what Real Sports says, and I just found that out. So that would be a big turning point. Yes, the
They would lose
Celtics
size. Absolutely.
yeah. Yes, the Celtics did win a hold up one second. The Celtics did beat the 76ers when down Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis, which a lot of fans did not think would happen.
Did
So I
Embiid play?
think that did Embiid. Yes, it
He
was
did. Okay.
76ers fully healthy. We were down Porzingis and Brown, and we still beat them by 10 points, which shows that we have depth on our bench.
Okay.
But it's definitely going to be a big test tonight if Jason Tatum isn't playing, obviously, because we definitely need someone guarding Giannis, and we need someone who can take shots and not be afraid to
Well, remember,
let
you
it
don't only
fly.
have Giannis, you also have another threat from outside and down low and a rebounding machine, Brooke Lopez, who you're going to have
Oh
to be
yeah.
careful of. So now without Tatum, that's definitely going to be a tall task. I mean, even with Tatum, you might even have to start, might have to put Al Horford in to start the game to guard Brooke Lopez because there's no way to match that size. So you might have to have a Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Horford, and Porzingis starting five for tonight, just to match up with that size, that Portland, that Milwaukee has. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. That should be that's going to be a really good game. And you said it's an ESPN game.
Yep.
So Mike Breen might be on the call of that, which is always a good show
Sticking with basketball, let's move over to Knicks versus Heat, which is happening also on ESPN on
on
Friday night
Friday.
at 7:30.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to that game. But the Knicks Heat preview. So last 5 games, Knicks are 3-2 in the road trip. They lost to Minnesota to wrap it up. Pathetic performance, especially coming from a Knicks fan. The Heat have won 4 out of the last 5, and their only loss was to Chicago after being up 22-1 in the first quarter. 22-1 with 3 minutes or so to go in the first quarter, and they lost that game to the Chicago Bulls. Jalen Brunson has been an absolute unit for the Knicks, averaging 24 and a half points per game. Randall's averaging 5 assists and starting to pick up the pace with his scoring, playing really well recently. And then you've got RJ Barrett, who's almost shooting 50%, 45%. He's shooting 45% from the field. So, if he can keep getting hot and, Brunson or Randall can have a, solid game like they have been, I don't see a way that, they lose that game. Obviously, if Jimmy Butler, we have to worry about Jimmy Butler. And yeah, so I mean, I definitely think we have our work cut out for us. We have Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo we have to watch out for. But I do like that matchup of Julius Randle kind of helping maybe Mitchell Robinson guard Bam. Because I think, at the power forward position, the Heat, they're a little on the weak side, I think, in terms of that. So yeah, definitely gonna be a good game. I think should be relatively high scoring. Even though these are two defensive minded teams, I think we're gonna have a high scoring game because I think it's gonna be a pace. You're gonna see the pace being pushed. You're gonna see a lot of fast breaks. They're gonna a lot of fast action. So yeah, I think these 2 games we have coming up, the Knicks on Friday and the Celtics today, definitely 2 good matchups.
Yeah, being a Boston fan, even though I do not like New York, I want New York to beat the Heat because after last season in the playoffs, the Heat, oh, I just can't with the
I
Heat
want to beat them
anymore.
too because they beat us last year. Jimmy Butler went out in the second game with an ankle injury and somehow came back and dropped like 30 the next game. So he's unreal, especially come the playoffs. He's had he's great in the regular season, but come the playoffs, he's a whole different guy. He just wants to win. Um, so yeah, definitely going to be two really solid games. But let's move into we got football tomorrow, Thanksgiving football.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so what are we thinking for for Thanksgiving football? Um, we have Packers Lions at 12:30, Washington Commanders and Dallas Cowboys at 4:30, and the Seahawks and Niners at 8:20 p.m. So let's just maybe we go through and give them our picks for for these games.
For Packers Lions, the Lions are favored by 7.5 already. That is a pretty good favoring for the Lions. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take the Lions to beat the Packers. They have been on a really good hot streak. They're 8-2. The Packers are 4-6. It just came out that the Packers placed their tight end Luke Musgrave and their running back Emmanuel Wilson out for at least 4 games. They are put on the IR, so that is 2 players they'll be missing. And I just don't think Jordan Love has enough in him to beat this really good
Yeah,
Lions team.
I 100% agree. I think that Jordan Love has, I don't think he's going to be a bad NFL quarterback. I just don't think he's there yet. He hasn't had the playing time or the experience or the coaching yet. I think Green Bay is a great spot for him. I think he's going to get very developed there. Aaron Rodgers obviously played there and still communicates with Jordan Love. But yeah, I have to agree. I got to take not the Packers, the Lions here for the 12:30 game. Jared Goff has been playing amazing football. The Lions are, like you said, 8-2 for the first time, I think, since the 60s or 70s, something like that. Long time that they've, haven't had this record. Um, Really solid 12:30 game, but with that running back being down and the tight end, you're going to see Aaron Jones for the Packers get a lot more run. So in the fantasy world, that's a good thing for those who have him. He's definitely underperformed this year. And then Washington, Dallas. I mean, this seems like a no-brainer. I think both of us are going to go in the same direction here again. I don't think Washington has it in them to take on this Dallas defense. I don't think their quarterback is nearly experienced enough. And I think Dallas is going to walk all over them here. I think Dak Prescott is going to throw for 300 yards at least. Um, Even with a few interceptions that he might throw. I think that, CeeDee Lamb is going to could have a big game. Tony Pollard could have a big game. You're going to see I don't think Washington has a chance.
As much as I dislike the Cowboys and I want Dak Prescott to lose, I can't see the Commanders winning. Dallas has just been racking up touchdowns, beating teams by like 40 points. It's been insane. So I just see Dallas winning this game easily. They're also favored by 12.5, which is
12 and a
even
half,
greater.
is that what it's at? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no, I don't
insane.
it's yeah, Washington's in a big rebuild right now and they just don't have what it takes. I'd be shocked if they won that game.
Yeah.
But
Next,
Seahawks
we have,
Niners. Yeah, there you go.
Seahawks and Niners. Niners sit at 7-3 on the season, which honestly I don't think is where they should be. I feel like they should be up there at 9-1, right next to the Eagles. Two of those games they should not have lost. Seahawks 6-4. Honestly, that seems right. Geno Smith, like he's been pretty good, but I don't see them as like one of the best teams in the league. San Fran favored by 7. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the Niners. Brock Purdy getting some turkey, 8:20 p.m. NBC. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with you on that. I'm gonna say the Niners as well. Brock Purdy has been playing amazing football this year. He's got a great offensive line blocking for him. He's got time in the pocket to throw the football. And he's got two of the best receivers in the game in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. The best running back I think in all of football right now, Christian McCaffrey, running for him. So I think that I think Seattle's pass defense is not the best. I think they're, kind of in the middle of the pack. They're not the worst, not the best, middle of the pack in the league. I think they're ranked like 16th or so in the league, if I'm not mistaken. So I think their pass defense is, it's going to be okay, but I don't think it's going to hold up against, Brock Purdy's arm and accuracy. So yeah, I think for sure the Niners will win that game, but I think the biggest lock of the afternoon is definitely going to be Dallas over Washington. I don't see a way they
Yeah.
lose that. But sticking with football, the New York Football Jets have benched Zach Wilson and
Oh yeah.
announced him as the not the backup, but now the third string with Tim Boyle at the starter. That's correct? Tim Boyle starting and Simeon
Trevor Simeon, yeah.
Trevor Simeon as the backup. So he just went
Yeah.
from starting football games for the Jets to not even going to dress in their next game. So that is which is unreal.
I mean, last Sunday losing 32-6 to the Bills, who have been a fraudulent team this entire season, playing down to their competition. Him getting benched. I mean, we really expecting him to start this week? Probably not. Even though he went 7 for 15 with only one interception and one passing touchdown, I don't think the 81 yards was enough. Like, it's not like he went 1 for 15, but he just wasn't. He's just not producing good enough. Jets fans probably really want Aaron Rodgers back. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's doing,
So
but his
what I've
Achilles seems
yeah,
ready.
what I've been hearing is he is totally able to come back by, in December at some point. Um, and but is it smart? Like I don't see a way that he would come back if they're not in the race for the playoffs, if they're not in the hunt, or they're not in the playoffs. When it's time for him to return, I think they're just gonna keep him out and rest him and save him for next year because next year's the last year. They're all in next year. Like they don't have another option. And they're gonna go after Devontae Adams in the offseason, try to bring him in from Vegas. But they are all in this year. This year and next year with Rodgers' 2-year deal because who knows what he's gonna do after that. And yeah, like you said, Jets are playing Miami this year, 3 o'clock. This week at
On
3 o'clock
Friday.
on Friday.
Black Friday football, first
Yeah,
time ever. That's crazy.
yeah. So I don't see a way that the Jets win that game, or B, a way that Zach Wilson could even be close to producing. Like Jalen Ramsey has been on a tear.
Or even playing. Zach Wilson's probably not going to play at all.
No,
Honestly, I see Tim Boyle playing first half. Maybe if he does good, keep him in. But then I see Trevor Siemian getting a knockout, and maybe in the third or the fourth quarter.
yep. I think they're going to try to find a new starter in one of those two. And I think the reason they went to Boyle is because he's Rodgers' right hand man from Green Bay. They brought him in from Green Bay, and I think Rodgers, sees something good in him and wants him to, to take the lead here. So, uh, yeah, so I'm actually looking at it right now. Rodgers is jogging already. He's eyeing returning to full practice with the team in 2 weeks as of yesterday. So in 2 weeks, Rodgers is going to be back with the Jets, practicing with the Jets. So yeah, we will see. Um, I don't think Wilson plays for the rest of the year though. I'm not gonna. He's been awful.
Yeah. Okay, sticking with football, we're going to transition to the Patriots and their issue at the helm. Will Bill Belichick get traded to another team at the end of this
No,
season or at the beginning of the next season? It's been the big question in the NFL community. And me being a Patriots fan, I personally don't want that to happen. I want him to stay as head coach and us to get a real general manager because I really don't think his coaching is the issue. I think his general managing is the issue, but that's for another time. The two teams he's been rumored to get traded to is the Los Angeles Chargers and the Washington Commanders. And honestly, I could see him getting traded to either of them, but I don't see Robert Kraft doing that.
I don't see Robert Kraft doing that either. I think he's going to stick with him as much as I think he should get traded. Or honestly resign. I don't see that happening. So Belichick, coming off of not a great year, well, so far with the Patriots, um, with Mac Jones at the wheel, he's been taken in and out of games. I agree with you. I think Belichick is a terrible general manager, doesn't know how to bring in the right players. He was handed a absolute diamond ring with Tom Brady, and very easy to coach because he was just that good. I think the Chargers would be the ideal spot for him. He'd be going into a situation where he has a good quarterback, and all he'd have to do is coach. He wouldn't have to worry about being a general manager anymore. So yeah, if he were to get traded, I think that's where he should go. I think that's where he would have the most success. But I don't like him. I don't like him staying in New England.
Hmm. I don't know. I just don't think Robert Kraft can trade away Bill Belichick, no matter how much fans in New England want him out or want him to stay. Personally, like I said before, I just don't like him as a general manager. He, like you said, he doesn't bring in the weapons. He doesn't bring in like anything for Mac Jones to use, and then Mac Jones just gets the blame every single game. And I
Okay,
feel
but
like it's not fair to Mac Jones.
no, but Mac Jones has been awful.
He has no time in the pocket because we have no O-line, and he has no weapons because all of our weapons are hurt or they're just not good.
Well,
And
no,
we're not using our and we're not using our tight ends correctly because we have two
Correct.
pretty good tight ends and they do not get used at all. Like, how did we go from having Rob Gronkowski, the best tight end of all time, and using him so well and using him so much, to having two, I would say, above average tight ends and just not using them at all? Like,
Well,
I don't
I hold on,
understand.
hold on. Let's go back to the whole Gronkowski thing because Travis Kelce will finish, and if not already there, is there
No,
and will be there at the top of the tight end leaderboard. It is not a question.
it is a
Gronkowski,
question.
are you? I mean,
He's literally
obviously
a
he does
he's
not
a
have the
big
Super
wide
Bowl rings.
receiver.
But he's a tight end. He is a tight end, and at the end of the day, when put up next to Gronkowski, he will that will be a conversation you're gonna have to have.
A
Absolutely.
conversation that he will lose because Travis Kelce, first of all, does not just have the brute strength and the brute force that Gronkowski has. You don't see Travis Kelce dragging people 10 yards down the field with the ball,
Because
getting
he
a
doesn't have to. He
touchdown.
gets
You
around
don't
them.
see
He
that.
gets around them. They can't tackle him.
Okay, that's because he's a big wide receiver. He's not a tight end.
He is a tight end.
I stand by my case. He's a
All right.
giant
Well,
wide
we
receiver.
can argue about that all we want at another point in time. So Shohei Otani, moving to baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's no way he stays in LA. None. Not a
No.
chance.
No, he's a free agent.
I
I don't
understand. I don't think. I mean,
I don't
LA is
think
going to
he's
throw him a ton
staying.
of money, but I don't think he stays there. Dodgers, Red
Mike
Sox,
Trout's gotta get
Rangers.
out.
Dodgers, Red Sox, Rangers are his three teams. Rangers making sense because obviously they just won the chip, but the Red Sox are interesting.
Okay, so as we all know, Shohei Ohtani has a deal with New Balance. New Balance's headquarters is actually in Boston, about like 10 minutes, 10
Yeah.
minute
Yep.
drive from
Yep.
Fenway. He loves Boston. He's always loved Boston. Whenever he goes there, he posts on his social media about it that he's in Boston. He definitely has a love for that city. I don't know if his love for the Red Sox, but he has a love for that city itself.
Yeah, but
The
then again,
Rangers,
everyone
like,
in that city roots for the Red Sox, so
yeah.
it's kind of everyone's a fan, and I don't think any Red Sox fan would be
Uh,
upset about him joining the
No,
squad.
I
So
would be very excited if he did that. Also, keep going with the Red Sox quickly. The Red Sox have Masataka Yoshida. We're looking into getting more Japanese players. Like, so I'm pretty sure that he would probably like that too. And then, like you said, Rangers, they just won the chip, so obviously. But honestly, I see him going to the Dodgers just because they have so much money. They have so much star power. Like, that just
and it's
seems like
close
the
to home. It's the same
yeah,
city,
yeah,
same city.
I just they're just gonna throw him like not $1 billion because that's impossible, but they're gonna throw him a lot of money, more than any other team could, because
Yeah,
somehow
no,
they
I
just have a
absolutely agree.
never
No,
ending money. I don't know how.
yeah, no, I think like I said, I agree with you. I think I'd be shocked if he ended up on the Rangers. But then they would have some elite pitching company over there. But the Dodgers, I definitely see him going to the Dodgers. I think he's brought up the Dodgers, previously. People have talked about him playing on the Dodgers previously. So I think that's definitely, a possibility. I don't see him going to the Texas Rangers. I think the
No,
Texas Rangers they're going to try to, replicate what they had last year. I don't think they're losing too many people to free agency or anything like that. So I think they're in a good spot.
it's just gonna come down to money. Because even if he likes Boston more than he likes the LA area, which obviously we don't know, but we know he does love Boston. It's just gonna come down to how much money's on that check because that's all players want these
Yeah.
days, just
Yeah.
money.
All right. Well, moving away from that, your big topic that you love, hockey.
Oh yeah.
So the Bruins, highest win percentage in the NHL, 13-1-3 record.
Yep. Coming off a tough loss a few nights ago. Overtime loss after being up 4-3 with 4 seconds left of the game.
To who?
Oh, why can't I remember? Hold up 1 second. NHL. Oh, to the Lightning. That's also a tough loss. That's we're both in the Atlantic.
Yep, that's a big
Yeah,
loss.
that is a
But
big loss.
the
5-4 in
Lightning,
overtime.
I don't know. The Lightning don't seem to be like they're, too much of a threat this year so far.
No, they're
Um,
9-6-4.
yeah, they don't seem to be, go. they were better. They've been better previous years, and they're not the
Oh yeah,
powerhouse they used to be.
no.
So I definitely think that I think we're going to be, I think the Bruins are not going to be hurt too much by that loss in the future. But then following up that list, the other two of the top three in the NHL, we have the Golden Knights at 13-4-2, and the New York Rangers, my team, um, you know, 12-3-1. So the Rangers are playing good hockey. All three of those teams are playing great hockey.
Very great
Both
hockey.
of us, as a Rangers and a Bruins fan, both hate the Golden Knights. Just think a lot of
Coming
people
off
do.
winning the Stanley Cup after taking Bruce Cassidy from the Bruins, which honestly, I loved how that happened because Bruce Cassidy was not good in our locker room. He was not good to our players. I think the Golden Knights love his way of coaching way better than the Bruins do because to be a Bruins coach, you have to be a very specific type of person. To play on the Bruins, you have to be a very specific type of person. Um, Honestly, as of right now, Bruins, Golden Knights, Rangers, definitely probably the top 3 teams in the NHL, and I could totally make a pick for the Stanley Cup right now out of those 3 teams.
Of course you can. You're a Boston fan. You're gonna say Boston's gonna win the cup and they're gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs, just like they did last year. Boston last year had the best record in the NHL.
Ever.
Record-setting
Ever.
season, and what happened? They lost in the first round of the playoffs. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're what 13? We're 16 games or so into the season, 17 games. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. We will get there, but now is not the time to be talking about the Stanley Cup, especially
Bruins in 7.
against who?
The Golden Knights. Bruce Cassidy's going down. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how you're liking that when the Rangers get there. But kind of also up on that, leaderboard, another, what, 5 teams here is, you have the Stars at 12-4-1, the Canucks at 13-5-1, the Kings at 11-3-3, the Jets at 10-5-2, and the Avalanche at 11-6. There's a lot of like good teams out there this year. No game for any of these teams that we just talked about, the Rangers, Golden Knights, Bruins, any of these guys is a walk in the park by any means. Like I don't
Yeah.
think that I really think that every team is going to have to earn it going forward. So we'll see.
Talking about these 5 teams, obviously the Stars coming off a great season last year that no one expected. They have Tyler Seguin. They have a bunch of players on that team. That's expected that they're 12-4-1. The Avalanche also coming off a great
Yep.
season, winning the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. That's also expected. But one thing on my NHL bucket list this season was not seeing the Canucks at 13-5-1. That was not
Well,
expected.
you don't have any
I
control over that. So let's just pump the brakes again because the Canucks have been a good team for the in recent, history. They've been pretty solid, haven't they?
They've been mid. Like the Canucks, the Kings, and the Jets have been mid. Like so, seeing them all at above 10 wins at this point at the beginning of the season is honestly surprising to me. The Kings have been on the rise, but the Canucks and the Jets, man, I don't
Yeah,
know. They're playing some pretty good hockey right
yeah.
now.
So
They're
and the Canucks don't have it easy, in the next 5 games or so. They have the Avalanche on tonight, actually, tonight on Wednesday. On Friday they have Seattle. They have San Jose Sharks Saturday, and then they have the Ducks on Tuesday. But the game after next Thursday, or no, yeah, next Thursday, they're playing against Vegas at home, which will be on tickets to that game are as low as $49 somehow.
that's
But
crazy.
yeah, they're at home against the Vegas Golden Knights. So, but looking at their schedule, they've played some decent teams and some bad teams to get to where they're at now. They've lost to what I'd consider the good ones. They beat the Edmonton Oilers 2 games in a row. They lost to Philly, lost to Tampa Bay. Florida, Nashville, and St. Louis were all wins by at least oh no, that's 1 goal. I was gonna say 2. They lost to the Rangers, and they haven't. The only other solid team they've beaten is the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe the Islanders. They won in overtime, but they've lost to Calgary and Seattle. 2 of their last. They're 1-2 in their last 3 games. So the Canucks don't. I don't think they have anything to worry about. I think they're gonna fall back into their original form, and they'll finish the season right around 500. And I think we'll be you will be okay. You won't have to have a panic attack just yet. But speaking of the Bruins, they play tonight, I believe.
They
Or is
play.
that
I'm
tomorrow?
pretty sure it's either tomorrow or Friday. No, it is tonight.
It is
They
tonight.
play
That's what I thought.
tonight at 7 p.m. on TNT.
Yep. So they are playing the Panthers, which is a playoff matchup from last year.
Oh,
Um,
devastating playoff
yeah, I was gonna
matchup
say
from last year.
your favorite playoff matchup from last year.
Yeah, we
Um,
were up 3-1 and we sold the whole series and lost in game 7 because we couldn't clear the puck.
yeah, so
Yeah.
Bruins are 7-3 in their last 10. Panthers are 8-2 in their last 10. But they're 7-1 at home, while the Bruins are 6-3 on the road. So
Yeah.
it's a tall task for them tonight, I think for sure. I think the Panthers are playing good hockey, especially in their home arena, their ice.
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, you obviously know about more about the Bruins than I do, but I mean, you tell me, do you think you're winning that game?
We already played the Panthers once this season. We beat them 3-2 in overtime, which was definitely stressful going to overtime again against the Panthers in the first game back from the playoffs last year. Coming off this loss from the Lightning, hearing about Jim Montgomery and what he was saying about that game, I think that we're going to bounce back and we are going to win this game because the locker room after that loss, I was told, was genuinely like good. It wasn't like bad vibes. It was given off. We need to just like skip over this loss and go on in the next game. So I think we'll be fine. I say we win this game like 3-1 or like two
Wow, by two.
zero.
Do we know that? What do we know what who's favored and by what?
I do not know who's favored.
I looking at it
Oh,
now, Boston is favored. Uh, what it looks like to be they're favored by 1.5.
okay. Oh, so that's like I said they would win by 2, so that's
Yeah,
not.
so they're favored by 1.5 at plus 210 odds. So yeah, we'll see. That's actually a hockey game I will watch. I don't normally watch too much hockey, but I will be watching that hockey game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the Bruins beat the Panthers 3-2 in overtime.
Hmm.
That's a solid win. They played as a team in that game. So yeah, we'll definitely see. I think, you have to have you've already beat them once, why can't you beat them again type situation.
Yeah.
But you never know. The Panthers come out firing, and it's anyone that game's going to be tough for the
Yeah.
Bruins, especially the big thing is that, they're 8-2 in their last 10, but they're 7-1 at home
Yeah.
this year, which is
That's tough.
which is really tough. Um, kind of hitting.
Also, to stay on the Bruins, still missing Milan Lucic. He is currently testifying in court for the assault charges from his wife. He was charged for choking her after going out getting drunk. So that's a big loss for the Bruins. Milan Lucic, he's very good in the locker room. Obviously, he won the Stanley Cup back in 2011 with the Bruins.
Sure.
So missing him,
Yeah,
obviously
but
was
he's
a
yeah, but
big thing.
if
So
I'm a GM, I don't want anyone like that near my team. Whether the allegations are true or not, I don't want anyone like that near my team. And I would, to be honest with you, it's good of a player as he is, and as much as he's done for the organization, I see him being cut. Especially found guilty, he's gone. I mean,
yeah,
but I don't see a way he plays another game for the Bruins.
I don't know. I think if he's found not guilty, I think there's a chance because he's such a big piece in our locker room and like in the history. Like there's a reason we brought him back. We did a lot to bring him back after getting rid of him
Yeah.
a while ago.
So kind of moving to our last little topic here, which is I guess more my category anyway. Obviously everyone knows that, Tiger Woods is coming off of another surgery, another injury. He has not played in a PGA Tour event since withdrawing from the last year's Masters tournament. Um, that is going to change. Tiger Woods has committed to playing the Hero World Challenge and the PNC Championship with his son Charlie Woods. They placed, I believe, sixth or seventh last year with a score of like 20 under par. But the Hero World Challenge is big. There's a video that surfaced online of him walking, caddying for his son at one of his son's tournaments, and it looks to me like it's the best he's been and the healthiest the best he's looked walking. So
After that car accident,
yeah, since that
right?
car
Yeah.
accident, yeah, he's been walking. Uh, recently he's been walking really, really well. And the PNC, he can use a cart anyway. But I see them, they shot 20 under last year. I see them coming out here and shooting 25, maybe even more under, further down. I don't think that they're gonna let John Daly and his son win this year. I think they will come out with it this year. Charlie has gotten to be a really good golfer. Just he's actually accomplished something that his dad never accomplished in his golf career, which is winning the high school state championship in Florida. His Tiger Woods never won a high school golf championship, so that's Charlie is definitely going to be he's going to be a solid tour player when he gets there. After maybe a year in college or so, and then he'll turn professional. So, yeah, we're going to see more of him for sure, which is going to be exciting. But that about wraps it up for today, I think. I mean, we've covered as much as we possibly could
Oh
in
yeah.
the time we had. And anything else we need to talk about? I mean,
I don't think so. We covered all four major sports, threw some golf in there. I think we did a pretty good job.
yeah, so I think let's throw in some basketball picks for tonight, just as,
Okay.
we'll kind of run through it. I'll read a game off and then you just tell me who you think is winning that game. So, oh wow. This is a rough one. Washington at Charlotte at 7. Tickets are as low as $9 for this game
Washington.
in Charlotte. And the uh the game tonight, Charlotte is favored.
By 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I see Charlotte winning that game just because they just came off a big win against the Celtics, winning in overtime, which no one expected at all because the Hornets are 4-9, Celtics best team in the league at 11-3. So I feel like they're gonna come out. LaMelo gonna go crazy.
Yeah, LaMelo's been playing awesome basketball, and Jordan Poole has been non-existent for the Washington Wizards recently. They are
No,
actually looking to trade him.
I've heard trade
Yeah,
rumors.
they are gonna. I mean, I see a way he ends up. I don't. Golden State won't go after him again, but there's definitely a way he ends up on another team before the trade deadline. All right,
Yeah,
moving on. Denver at Orlando. That should be a no-brainer, assuming Nikola Jokic doesn't get ejected from this ball game. I think they win that game.
I
Yes,
mean,
no, maybe
The Magic are 9-5. I mean, and the Nuggets
they
are
are.
10-4.
They are.
That's a pretty good matchup, and Denver's only favored by 3.5, so that game could easily go both ways. Obviously, Jokic makes the biggest difference between two of those
Yep,
teams,
averaging
but I
20.
could see them.
He's averaging
You
27
go.
and a half points per game, shooting 79% from the stripe, from the free throw line, and 57.3 field goal percentage. The best player on the Magic, Paolo Banchero, right now is averaging 20 points a game on 47% shooting and 66% from the line. So they're
Okay.
definitely gonna have to make their free throws tonight. And in terms of injuries, Jamal Murray will not play for the Denver Nuggets, so
Ooh,
that is
that's
another
big.
loss.
That is
Um,
big.
he was estimated to return yesterday, or he would have been eligible yesterday, but that's obviously not the case. However, for Orlando, Markel Fultz is out tonight, and so is Wendell Carter Jr., who's a center, so they are going to lose some size there. You might see um what's his name get more run. I can't think of it. So yeah, that's going to be a close game. I think
Yeah.
no Jamal Murray is definitely going to hurt
Yeah,
them.
no Jamal Murray. That's pretty big. I see the Magic giving the Nuggets a run for their money, and I honestly could see it going either way. But the Nuggets are probably going to take the win on this one.
Brooklyn at Atlanta. If we're looking at this game, I'm gonna I'm actually gonna go with Brooklyn here. Um,
That's what I was going to say too. I was going to say I'm
even
going
though
for the upset.
The Hawks are favored to win by 4 points. Cam Thomas has been playing outstanding basketball this year. At 29 or 26.9 points per game on 47 or 48% shooting, 85% from the free throw line. While Trey Young, yes, is being Trey Young. Uh, oh, I take that back. Hold on. Dennis Smith Jr., Cam Thomas, and Ben Simmons are all out tonight.
Ooh,
However,
actually, okay,
DeJounte Murray
might
is
be taking.
questionable to play for the Atlanta Hawks.
I
So
might be picking Trey Young then. I
you're gonna
don't
take Trey
know.
Young and the Hawks.
If Ben Simmons, I know Ben Simmons isn't that good, but if Ben Simmons and those two other players are out, I think I might be taking Trey Young.
I'm gonna stick
Yeah,
with Brooklyn. I think they're
ice
gonna
in
pull
his
it out.
veins.
I think Mikal Bridges is gonna have a good game. And yeah, I think that I think Mikal Bridges is going to go off tonight because Atlanta's defense, especially without DeJounte Murray, is not going to be. They're not going to be able to guard him very well. So let's recap. We're both taking Charlotte, correct?
Yeah.
In the first game. The second game, we're both going to take Denver.
Yep.
The third game, I'm taking Brooklyn and you're taking Atlanta.
Yep.
Okay. And then let's move on to Miami at Cleveland. That's actually going to be a good game.
I'm taking Cleveland on that one, even though Miami's favored. I want to see Miami lose. I think Bam
Cleveland is favored.
Adebayo hasn't.
Cleveland is favored by 3.
Oh, on my thing, Miami's favored by 2.5, but that's weird. I think Bam Adebayo is going to get locked up tonight, and I think Jimmy Butler, he's still going to play good, but I just have a feeling the Cavs are just going to pull out a win.
So we're actually going to go to the injury report here. We're going to have Kevin Love out tonight. Bam Adebayo questionable
Ooh.
tonight for the Heat, and Tyler Hero is still out with that hand injury. For the Cavs, we have a
Still?
lot of
Wow.
a lot of guys out here. We have Isaac Okoro, big part of their team, out tonight. Ty Jerome is out. Dean Wade, who gets a lot of run with the second unit, questionable. Karis LeVert, questionable. Donovan Mitchell is out tonight. Are you
That's
still
tough.
going with the
They
Cavs?
still got Garland. They got Strus. They got Mobley.
Is that going to be enough? Oh, Strus is going against his former team.
Yeah,
Is that going to be enough
I
to beat Miami?
I think so. I think Miami's gonna come out there all cocky like they always do. Jimmy
I think
Butler.
here's the deciding factor. I think if Bam Adebayo plays,
Yeah,
the Cleveland Cavaliers will lose that game. So I'm going to take
probably.
Miami here. I
I'm
think they're
taking
going to
the
win.
Cavs.
I'm going to take the Cavs. I think they're going to
Yeah.
win that game, simply because I think Bam's going to play. I don't think he was that injured. So let's move on. We've covered Milwaukee, Boston, so we're going to go to Toronto, Indiana. I'm taking Indiana here. Tyrese Halliburton has been playing some outstanding basketball, averaging 24 points per game on over 50% shooting and 92% from the free throw line. They're favored by they're favored by 3.5. Is what I'm seeing. So they're 8-5 and 5-3 at home. I'm taking the Pacers here.
For the Pacers to win this game, Halliburton's gonna have to go off because he's averaging around 25 points per game, but the rest of his teammates are averaging under 17. Where when you look at the Raptors, it's a bit more spread out, where you have Scotty Barnes averaging 20, Pascal Siakam averaging 19, and Dennis Schroeder almost averaging 17 points per game. So I have a feeling if the Raptors have their big three and they're shooting really good tonight, that the Raptors could pull out a win if Halliburton
So
gets locked
who
up.
are you taking?
I'm gonna go with the Raptors.
Wow, you're gonna take the upset here. All right.
I'm
So you're
a big Dennis Schroeder fan. He was on
yeah,
the
I could
Celtics a few years ago.
yeah, he was on the
Yeah,
Celtics. He actually played they paid him like nothing. And he played some good minutes
I
for you
know.
guys. So moving on, Memphis and Houston, I don't even think that's a question. I think Houston's winning that game.
Oh
They're
yeah,
six and
no,
six against
Memphis.
Memphis. So Memphis is what? 3-10. They're 3-4 on the road.
Yeah,
Houston's at home. Um, Segun has been playing
Memphis.
some insane basketball. I mean, Houston's favored to win by 4.5.
Yeah, Memphis is also missing Marcus Smart, John Morant, so missing their best shooter and missing supposedly their best defender. So I see the Rockets winning.
Yeah, and they're also missing Luke Kennard, Xavier Tillman, and Jake LaRavia. Never heard of him. But the Rockets are short Victor Oladipo and Amon Thompson tonight.
Oh,
Um,
Oladipo.
I still
That's
think
not
I
good.
take the Rockets here.
No, yeah.
All right. Now moving on, we have the oh wow, this is a good matchup. We've got a good top team in the West in the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the
Yep.
Sixers.
Minnesota is actually favored in this game to beat the 76ers.
They
At
are
least that's what I see.
I see
Six
by
and a half.
7.5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think Anthony Edwards is going to have a good game tonight. I think the Sixers
I'm
win this
taking
game.
the Tims. I'm taking the Tims, bro.
Okay.
They're so good.
Yep, I'm going to take the
I'm pretty
76ers, and
sure the
here's why.
Timberwolves.
I'm going to take the 76ers
Yeah.
because Joel Embiid has been averaging 31 points per game on 50% shooting and also averaging 11 rebounds per game, 8 on the defensive end. I think he's going to absolutely big body Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns tonight. I don't think that I think they're the young guards that they have are going to be able to defend Anthony Edwards at a high level. So I'm gonna take the Sixers here. All right, so let's
I'm taking the Timberwolves. Just wait quickly. The Timberwolves have beaten not only the Celtics, who are the best team in the league, they've beaten the Nuggets, they've beaten the Heat, which are considered a good team in the league. They've beaten the Knicks.
thank you.
They've beaten the Warriors twice in a row. Like I see the
They beat
Timberwolves coming out and crushing the 76ers.
but they
Crushing
I don't
them.
see that happening because the two games that they beat the two games that they beat against the Warriors were Steph Curry-less.
Oh,
Okay,
I didn't
so
know that. My bad.
I
But
don't
still,
know
the other
about
games.
yeah, no, understandable. All right, we're gonna rapid fire these last ones. We're gonna say
Okay.
Sacramento, New Orleans. I'm gonna take New Orleans there.
Kings.
Okay, you're gonna
I'm
take
taking the
Sacramento.
Kings. Yeah.
All right. Chicago, Oklahoma City. I'm taking OKC.
I'm taking OKC.
All right. Let's see. We're gonna have LA Clippers against the Spurs. I'm gonna take the Clippers.
I'm going to take the Spurs. The Clippers have just been a hot mess lately. I can't trust them, even
Okay.
if they're favored.
Okay. Let's look into that actually because they are favored by
They're
eight and a
favored by
half.
8.5. Yeah,
Yeah,
eight
they're
and a
favored by
half.
8.5. Victor Wembanyama is leading the Spurs. But they have the Spurs have fallen off recently, and I do think that the Clippers have turned it around with Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. They're 2-0 since they started doing that. All right, next one, Golden State and Phoenix. This is a good game.
I'm taking Phoenix to win. KD's about to go off.
So Phoenix is favored by 2.5.
Oh, and
And
this game is on ESPN, not
yeah, so this
NBN.
is going to be a big game. Durant averaging 31 points per game. Steph Curry averaging
Wow,
30 points per
that's
game.
crazy.
Durant shooting
Damn.
54% from the field. 54%
Wow,
and averaging 31. Looking at the injury
that's
report,
amazing.
the Suns do not have Yuta Watanabe, and the Warriors do not have Gary Payton II. So we will see how that goes. I am gonna
I'm taking the
take.
Suns.
You're gonna take the Suns. I'm gonna take Golden
Yeah,
State. I'm gonna
I
take the
just
Warriors here. And so yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. Um, so yeah, let's move on. We have Utah, Portland. That's not really a great game here. What do you think?
honestly, I'm gonna take Utah.
Okay, Utah for all right, I'll stick with you. I like Utah here. Um and so yeah, we've got Utah and then who else? We have Dallas and Los Angeles. I'm gonna take
I'm
the
taking
Lakers.
Dallas. Oh,
Okay.
I'm taking Dallas. Luka Doncic about to go off.
All right. So I'm gonna take the Lakers. You're gonna take the Dallas Mavericks. So those are our picks for the NBA. We're gonna try to do picks for one sport. There's actually a ton of games today, so we probably should have picked a different sport. We'll do picks, for one sport every week, just so you guys hear our opinion. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. We'll come back to these picks and see who had the most. I have them all written down, so we'll definitely do that. But thank you
I'm
for watching.
confident in myself. I'm confident in myself
What's
winning
how many
this.
are you getting wrong?
I think I'm getting one wrong.
One wrong. So, all right, that's a pretty high percentage there. But thanks for watching the Tailgate Talk. I'm Aaron, that's Rylee, and we will see you next week. Well, you'll know the day when it gets posted because, to be honest, we have no idea if we're going to keep a consistent schedule or not. But yeah, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, and yeah, go Knicks.
We'll get the links in the description.
Oh yeah, check the
Subscribe to
description.
TikTok.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.